Hello friends, my name is MK Reddy and in this video we'll be discussing about how to write answer writing in Western political thought. We all know that in BA, in Bachelor's of Arts, be it in BA program or be it in honors degree, we usually find it tough to answer uh, you know uh, Western political thought or Western political philosophers. Students often find it difficult to write the answers. So in this video, I will try to ease how to write the introduction in Western political thought. We all know that from Plato to Karl Marx or Antonio Gramsci, each thinker, each thinker is unique and they vary in their writings and their essence and their objectives and their mottos and the challenges they encountered and the centuries they belong to. As you could see, my dear friends, on the screen, the best sources or the references for Western political thought, Brian Nelson and O.P. Goba. These are the best books you can study. So when it comes to writing introduction, let us see for an example on Hobbes, how to write introduction on Thomas Hobbes. The first thing that you should keep in mind is the simple things in your mind. Whenever you write introduction to anything, or be it in UPSC mains or degree or MA, wherever you write the answer, you have to keep in mind the time frame of the thinker. So time, for example, take Thomas Hobbes. He was born in 1588 and died in 1679, and he was born and died in England. Why? Because in order to understand any thinker, it is very important to understand clearly that context of his times. So time, you have to mention in introduction the time period. If you do not remember exact dates like birth, when he was born, when he died, you can remember roughly the centuries. For example, late 16th century or 17th century, late 16th century and 17th century. And Thomas Hobbes graduated from Oxford in 1608 or in the early 17th century. You can write famous. Thomas Hobbes is famous for Leviathan. It is a book that he wrote, and it is very famous. And one more thing that I couldn't mention, if that as you could see on the screen, that he belongs to England. So apart from mentioning when he was born or which century he belongs to, we have to mention the country he belongs to. So Thomas Hobbes belongs to which country? England. So he is called as an English philosopher belonging to 17th century and famous for what? Leviathan. Leviathan is the book that he wrote. Along with that, one should mention the kind of influence that had on thinker. Like as you could see on the screen, my dear friends, this Thomas Hobbes was influenced by the writings of Kepler, Galileo. These are the thinkers. You can see them historians, and we all know that in 15th and 16th centuries, and even 17th century also, there was so much of change in order in political systems in England. So there was so much of distress, political distress. We can call it as a civil war, as you could see on the screen. And we all know that there was so much of advancement. Dark ages were ended, and new scientific discoveries were invented. So this was the time period, and there was no, as I mentioned, because of civil war, there was no order, there was no proper rule, and which means there was a lack of proper systematic order. So we can call it as anarchy. So if there is an anarchy, which means there is problem with the security. So during this period in England, there was anarchy and there was no guarantee of a life. So in order to address this issue of anarchy and no guarantee for life, his aim that he kept in mind, or we could understand from his writings of Leviathan that his aim or motto of Leviathan is to find order in the society, preservation of life. So this is the introduction you can write on Thomas Hobbes. Thank you.